Welcome back to the second hour of 8-Bits. I'm djWHEAT, joined this week, as always, by GreenSpeak. And our special guests, we've got Swifter this week. We just got done rapping about some of the games we were playing. Was there anything else we left out? Swifter, I noticed you had a couple that we didn't necessarily hit that actually I'd love your opinion on, because I know you play a lot of those types of games. And that, one of them was Hardline.
I really wanted to like Hardline because the trailer looked awesome when we were there in the studio and we watched it. I was like, I want to go home and play this right now. But when I played, everyone was way better than me, and I died immediately every time. And I was really turned off. But I guess I just need to play with people more on my level. Maybe the matchmaking's just not there yet. It's
weird. That sounds just like Battlefield.
So I'm willing to give it another shot. It's just the matchmaking for the beta was brutal, and I got thrown in and I got destroyed. I'm like, bad first experience. I'll try again later. Same thing.
Did you get any of that feeling that some people have had on why isn't this just some expansion I'm downloading for Battlefield 4 instead of a standalone? Or are you, I'll wait until I see the full game?
No, I think that didn't bother me at all. It was like a new take, and it felt like something different. There were enough cool stuff. I got to do the interview with the Steven about Hardline.
Right.
And they threw in a lot of stuff just for the gameplay, and it felt like, yeah, this would be cool as its own separate thing. But I just didn't really get a chance to experience it. Just always dead. But it's cool. I'll give it another shot when it comes out. Hopefully they have the matchmaking sorted out by then.
Awesome. And then the other one that you had on is Stomping Lands.
Oh, Stomping Lands is so cool. It's basically just DayZ with dinosaurs, but there's so cool. It's a few cool elements. Yeah, so you're going around, you're like chopping trees and rocks for like, resources, but you can like make your weapons right there. So you can make a bolus to like kind of like tie people up. So you get some wood and you get some stone, and you see a player on the beach and he's building his hut or whatever. You throw at him and you tie him up, and they're caught by the leg and they're just laying down on the floor. And you can take your rope and drag them along the beach. And you're not killing them, you're kind of like making them like suffer, and it's just great. It's all the social elements you kind of get out of DayZ without it being crazy. And they're dinosaurs, so dinosaurs will chase after you or not. It's just a cool environment. It's still really early in the beta, but I don't know how many guys watching now have tried it out. But it seems really promising. I can't wait to get back in and like tame a dinosaur and ride a dinosaur around and eat other players. It just seems like they got something cool going on.
Is there any sort of Rust building elements to this at all?
Yes. The thing that sucks is that there's no like inventory. Like in Rust, you can hold some stuff. In this, like you're chopping wood and like materials, and you're dragging a box with you. So you're physically dragging a box with you. And if you lose this box, you lose your stuff. But you can craft stuff. The interface isn't there yet, but you can craft a lot of things just right immediately. You can craft a hut, a bow and arrow, a spear. I didn't get a chance to check out all this stuff, but the crafting element is there, which I like about Rust. But I just hope they include an inventory system, because it's really a hassle to kind of carry something around and then lose it because you get chased by a dinosaur. Because you can't carry your stuff and get away from a dinosaur at the same time. It's like, oh, gotta leave all my stuff here so I can live.
That's crazy.
There really should be more dinosaur games. Why aren't there more dinosaur games?
I agree.
We all love dinosaurs. What the fuck?
I don't know.
The Venn diagram between gamers and people who like dinosaurs, it's got to be practically 100%. Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Exactly. Why aren't there more dinosaur games? I completely agree. It's so weird. Maybe the dinosaurs will have a resurgence like zombies have. Instead of like, there being a zombie game every like 2 weeks, maybe a dinosaur game every 2 weeks.
Zombie dinosaurs, man. Next
level. Oh, shit.
You called it.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's it.
All of a sudden, all the bones start coming back.
Just add Nazis. Just add Nazis.
Yeah.
There we go.
This game does look cool. I mean, it unfortunately also joins the long list of games similar to it that are sort of in this early, beta access phase. So
yeah,
I always wonder like how they will do. So.
I agree. Just don't know whether they'll keep on running with it or not. Like DayZ, people still play the hell out of it, but I feel like there's been no changes to it like in forever. I don't get it, but people love it. Okay.
Glad to hear you say that. I don't get it either. I keep trying. I want to like it. I haven't uninstalled it. I keep going back in because I'm thinking it must be great. It's got to be me.
Right. But it's the people. It's really just the players in the game. It's just that's what makes it. The game can be terrible, but if the players in the game can communicate and interact, I guess that's what's making the experience cool.
Right. Probably if you go in with a bunch of your friends, right? Or,
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Only I had friends.
Gaming news. The Steam Summer Sale is here.
Woo!
Let's take a look at this list and figure out what of the what percentage of games we already own, and then which one we're gonna buy, because that's what I feel like already here on day 2, which is okay because a lot of people still coming on. Devil May Cry is what I picked up yesterday. I've not played the reboot, so I'm kind of excited to do that.
Supposed to be good.
But what do you guys think of today's offering? I see a lot of really cheap deals. I think I own damn near everything on here. Maybe not State of Decay, which is probably the one I'll go with.
I feel like I own everything I already want. None of these other ones seem compelling to me. Like, I'm curious about Prison Architect. I need to find out whether I can get prisoners together to shank each other. If I can do that, then I'm sold. But otherwise, I'm not too sure. Nothing here. I already own Walking Dead and Amnesia. But nothing here really jumps out at me as like, I want to play this. I want to pay money for it now, even if it's on sale. How about you guys?
Yeah, I would say I agree with you. If Prison Architect is like Oz the game, that I'd play. Other than that, I don't know. The rest of these, this is a little bit of a weaker offer. Spore, 75% off, still not worth it.
Yeah,
I mean,
95% off.
For me, the games that are on here that if you haven't played, right now, there is Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Which is down in the Community's Choice for $374. Totally worth it. It's like, I can't even believe that you get that for $374. It's an awesome little game. Rage, if you just want to press your rig a little bit, that's good. But it wasn't the biggest thing. What is this Bound by Flame though?
Bound by Flame.
Yeah, it was released in May 8th, 2014.
Huh.
It looks
it's already 40% off.
It
looks
says
cool.
Action RPG.
You're a mercenary possessed by a flame demon.
Of course.
Is it bad that the first thing I do is I scroll down and look at the negative comments for a game?
I
feel like
that's probably
a way to look at it. It's like, what do people hate about this game? I'm going to jump on that.
Developer Spiders is a small studio. Interesting.
Bulletstorm, Bulletstorm for $5. I think that's worth it. I got $5 worth of entertainment out of that.
Is the PC version is it good?
It's $5 good.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. But I like the demo. I never played the full game of Bulletstorm, but I thought the demo was really cool. But I just never justified the time to spend to actually get the retail game for $5. Yeah.
If you like just shooting a bunch of shit up, it's like Serious Sam. You just got like hordes of enemies coming at you, and big ass guns. I mean, it's fun for what it is.
You ever try it co-op? How was the co-op experience if you did?
I never did, actually. Yeah. Well, but Swifter, you and I were talking before we came on about yesterday's sale. It's old news now, but those Witcher sales were unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. How could anyone not own Witcher 2? Such an incredible game. If you don't own Witcher 2, you just got to get it.
It was $5.
Yeah, like $5 or $4 yesterday. I mean, it's still today. You can scroll down and get it. Witcher 2. It was such a great game.
Oh, it is. It's still $4. $4.
$4.
Come on.
Such a great game.
Yeah, this is pretty great. I mean, I love the Steam summer sale. I have some of the same complaints that a lot of other Steam users have, where it's like, I literally own all these games. I can't earn cards for the summer sale, to get this stuff. So, you got to go trade, I guess.
I'm out of the loop on the cards thing. I don't even know what's going on. I
don't know.
Confuses my old brain.
I think during the winter thing, I was just like, I can't care about this anymore. But collectible cards, it's the thing, I guess.
My thing, and Swifter and I were talking about this too, is just like, do I need more games at this point in my life? My backlog is already so huge. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, what I decided I'm going to stop doing is I'm going to stop buying old games that I've already played with some sort of, mythical illusion that I'm going to actually play it again because now I own it again. I'm not going to play Wizardry 8 again. Like I've got all this new stuff to play.
I fell for that. I bought Wizardry. I'm like, I'm going to play it. So I loaded it up and it's like, oh man, I can't do this for 30 hours.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did I do that to myself? Oh,
exactly. It's so hard to not buy them though when they're that cheap. You feel like, well, if I'm ever going to buy it, I might as well now. And it's such a good game that maybe I'll get that free time eventually.
So Microsoft and PlayStation have tried sales like these on their platforms, right? I'm curious how it went for them. They've tried to recreate that magic, it seems to me.
Yeah.
I've never really kind of adopted that, but can you get this kind of like same kind of Steam sale like fervor on a PlayStation Store or Microsoft like Xbox Live? Do you think they can ever really achieve that?
I think they've had okay sales so far, but the volume is what it is here, right?
Right.
There's so many to choose from. And I have a hard time seeing Microsoft and Sony like just totally opening up the coffers to their whole library and saying, here, everything is $5 or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it would be awesome if they did.
Is there some couple people are mentioning in chat, so I thought it'd be worth a question, but is there anything that you would really like to see on sale that you've sort of been holding off on or maybe isn't in your library that if it, you saw it, you would jump on it?
For me, probably Might and Magic 10 was it? The newest one. It went for like around $30. I'm like, I want to play it. I know I probably will never play it, but I want to own it. It's
good.
I want to play it. Is it good?
It is good. I like it, especially if you're a fan of the old ones.
Yes.
It's total fan service.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Big Might and Magic fan.
Someone mentioned Metal Gear Rising. And actually, I never played that one, and it's $22 on Steam regularly. I could totally see that one going on sale, and I would definitely be picking that up, for sure.
Yeah, I would. That's a good question.
I wonder if like Dark Souls will pop up there. Dark Souls
2.
Even if it's just like a small discount, but
I thought there was a small discount on it. If not now, yeah, I thought so. Anyone can check confirm that? I guess I could just search myself. But I thought it was a few bucks off right now. I just wondered, like, do I need to own it on both Xbox 360 and Steam? Then why not? There's a small discount on it right now. It's like 33% off for $34. That's not too bad. Maybe we'll go lower. I bet it does. Yeah.
I'd buy Watch Dogs if it went on sale, but it's probably too new.
Yeah. What do you think when like a game just immediately goes on sale? It just was like it flopped. It's put on sale immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen it. Oh, it is on sale. Okay. Already 33% off. There we go.
Not bad. Not bad.
And we'll be keeping an eye on it. It switches out every day. And then, of course, there's the flash sales that switch out, every 8 hours? As well as the community pick. So
also, I just want to put in a plug for anyone who hasn't played the newer XCOM series. That's 67% off. It's $16.49 for the whole new series.
Yes, I picked up the add-on yesterday, The Enemies Within. I can't wait to play that. Oh, that's what I was waiting for yesterday. I was like, yes, picking it up.
So good.
So good. So good.
I haven't voted. What are the new games to vote on for?
Let's see. There's a group with there's the sci-fi cyberpunk group and the puzzle platformer. Have you guys played Shadowrun Returns? I can't cast it because there's too much reading, but that's the game I play when I'm not casting.
You want to know what's crazy about Shadowrun is the amount of user-made content for that game.
Yes.
It's bonkers.
It is. It's insane how dedicated that community is to making actually top-notch art and add-ons. It's pretty insane.
I have to go with this puzzle platformer because I don't think I own any of those games.
Yeah, I've never except the bridge.
What is Master Reboot?
That I'm not sure of either. Master Reboot.
It's a good name.
Game looks kind of cool. I like the art style. It's got this kind of
Oh, whoa! That looks crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let me add this to my wish list.
Yeah,
when I'm bored, because that never happens. Okay. Here's a couple of other gaming news items that came out this week. Definitely want to get you guys' opinion on all three of these. Let's start with the easy one first, and that is that Origin is putting out a new strategy, and they're calling it Game Time, Origin Game Time, and it isn't a demo. It's basically they're allowing you to play certain titles for X amount of hours and the full title. So they're kicking it off with Titanfall on PC. And for 48 hours, you just get to play for free. This is kind of interesting because even back when the whole SimCity 4 thing came to be, we talked about this whole concept of, well, if only there was a way you could really experience a game before you officially put down your $60. It looks like Origin's actually going to do that. Yeah. Do you guys think this is too little, too late, or do you think this is the right strategy for these folks to, follow the leader in terms of other people offering content free or at least somewhat limited?
That's a good question.
Yep.
Go for it. Go for it.
No. Cool. I just think it's worth a shot for them. I mean, I think it's going to just suit some of their games in the library better than others, but I think it's worth them to kind of try and see how people respond to it. But like, for example, Titanfall, like, will people who have not played the game give it a shot for 40 hours for free? I think so. Like, they didn't want to play the full. So yeah, they'll go for it. But will they play? Will it be compelling enough for them to actually buy the game after playing 48 hours or 2 days? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to see the kind of conversion they're hoping for, personally. What did you think, Jeff?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, as long as they're going to stick with Origin, they might as well keep trying new things to try to get people in. And it's not a bad idea. Is it too little, too late? I don't know. I mean, I know that one thing, like with the 48 hours, it's like with iTunes when you rent a movie or something. Like the 48 hours counts whether you're playing the game or not. So it's not 48 hours of game time. That's one thing, which I guess, whatever, that's fine. I mean, whatever. It just means that if you decide to do it, you're committing to the next 2 days. You better play a lot. Right. But one thing that they're doing that I think is cool, they're doing it with Titanfall. I don't know if it's going to happen with other games, is they're going to, any progress you made they'll keep that. So if you actually decide to buy it,
sure, you
don't have to start over. That's kind of a nice gesture. But, does anybody like Origin? I don't know. I mean, I think it's a cool idea, right? And I think it probably will get some people to try and play new games. Is it a thing that's going to bring Origin any close to parity with Steam? Like, of course not.
No.
Like, it's like 8 years too late for that. But, I mean, give them credit for trying something cool. I mean, It's not a bad thing. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and I was just looking through some of the comments. I know the viewers saw a few of them, but at first it's like, this is great, didn't get a chance to play it, awesome. And then people are starting to say, well, you made it available, it's going to take me 2 days to download, this doesn't really work out for me. And it is kind of interesting, the timing, because I'm sure they're like, hey, this is exciting, look, we're doing this for you. And then there are going to be those guys, it will take me 8 hours to download, there goes half of my time. But yeah, I give them credit for trying something as well. I think they need to. It's a competitive world out there. Other cloud services as well. We already, like, how many games do I launch from Steam that then open in Origin? Like, that just drives me bonkers. But it is what it is.
What do you think they can do, though? I mean, like, Origin seems to be still struggling. They have these, these exclusive games. I loaded up for Crysis 3 once in a while. I loaded up for SimCity once in a while, but there's no reason for me to go check on what's going on in the Origin land. Like, not really. It's like,
right. You never. Yeah. What's on sale? What's that new game that Billy made in his garage? That's unbelievable that everyone's talking about. You never. That site is not on Origin at all. So
that I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
There's not going to be some thriving indie scene on Origin. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But as a place to like buy EA games, or a way to get us to try EA games, I think that's a cool idea. I mean, certainly if there was a game I was on the fence about, like let's say Mirror's Edge 2, right?
Right.
Let's say it gets, I don't know, maybe it's going to be awesome, but let's just say for argument that it gets like medium reviews. Like this idea would be a cool thing,
sure,
right? Like, okay, I'll see if I'm into it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the other two big-ticket items I definitely want us to discuss. First one is the Watch Dogs controversy that's happened recently. I mean, I'm sure that you guys caught it. Are you guys up to date, sort of on what's up with Watch Dogs and what's happened recently?
I'm a little behind on that.
Okay,
I
why don't you tell us?
Okay,
yeah.
So essentially, what happened was evidence emerged through NeoGAF, Reddit, internet detectives, that the PC version of Watch Dogs contained files that were related to what Ubisoft had shown during the original E3 2012 review. So through some awesome hacking and some, twisting knobs and rewiring some stuff, users were basically able to tap into these resources and drastically improve the look of the game.
Wow.
So immediately the internet kind of jumped on Ubisoft by saying, guys, did you intentionally like nerf this game so that if it came out on PC, it wouldn't like dwarf what it looks like on the 360 and the PS4? To which they have now come out and say, no. In fact, their official statement is the dev team is completely dedicated to getting the most out of each platform, so the notion that we would actively downgrade quality is contrary to everything we've set out to achieve. We test and optimize our games for each platform on which they're released, striving for the best possible quality. The PC version does indeed contain some old unused retinar settings that were deactivated for a variety of reasons, including possible impacts on visual fidelity, stability, performance, and overall gameplay quality. So, it is possible. They have stuff in. They don't go forward with it. It doesn't match up. It stays in there. But what's happened is now these mods are coming out and people are making Watch Dogs look fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And, regardless of what Ubisoft said, people notice. They see the visual difference. It's kind of crazy.
Right. What else could Ubisoft say, though? Like, could they say, like, yeah, you're right. Like, we downgraded the graphics on the PC version. No, they have to stick with, like, some other, like, yeah, we did it for a legitimate reason, like XYZ. But, I mean.
Yeah. Do you think that they had a legit reason? I mean, do you buy the excuse? Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm sure it's just they wouldn't hurt sales, hurt their partners of Microsoft or Sony. I mean, I think they just kind of, like, created the equity there. It's sad that they did, and I wonder if like any other companies out there like wouldn't do that. Like, are there any other games that were released on both like console and PC where the PC version was just like phenomenally more like beautiful than the console version? Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Sure, there have been a few.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't name anything off the top of my head, but I have to imagine like it has happened.
Right. I'm sure someone in chat will chime in.
I just I googled that thing, and I guess these lines of code that got commented out or deleted within the code are pretty damning. The one that I just clicked on is it's a color setting, and then the code comment is, "This is PC only. Who cares?"
Oh my God!
That's right in the code.
Yeah, that seems pretty bad. I mean, so you can imagine, though, the outcry of a lot of people in the PC Master Race community who are like, when will you just fucking admit that you should be, you can make the most beautiful games in the world on our, on our platform? And I kind of get it, right? Like, it is funny because we're sitting here going, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the next generation. And even I'm like sucked into it, like, what's my PlayStation 4 going to do? This is so amazing and great. When we've seen it, the physical evidence. This is Far Cry 3 running at like 10 billion by 10 billion resolution, and you're just like, this is real life. It's amazing. So, I mean, I get it. Why people are kind of upset, and it's more fuel to the fire for why PC users are like, you keep on giving us like nerfed or neutered gameplay experiences or graphical experiences because you're trying to achieve that for the console.
I just linked that line of code into the chat window if people want to see it. You got to wonder in this day and age why they didn't just delete the comment. Why comment on that in the code when these days that everybody goes into the code and looks at the shit?
Oh man,
that is real damning, dude. This is PC. Yeah.
Wow. So what does this mean for Ubisoft, though? Ubisoft,
it doesn't. It just means that here's another sort of scar that they now will walk away from with this title specifically. Delays, the frame rate controversy, now the E3 PC Watch Dogs controversy. And I mean, we have seen other games get improved by users through, some tricks here and there, right, but never by just reactivating what was in the game in the first place. That's the part that is kind of like, what does that mean? It just, I mean, Are people going to not buy the Division because of this? No.
No way. Of course not. Right.
So
to me, it's just so I just don't see the point of any of this. I mean, people are going to play it on the platform they want to play it on anyway. If they leave the stuff in for PC, I got to believe that most people who are going to play it on Xbox One or PS4 are still going to play it on that anyway, because that's their platform of choice. So just leave the other shit in for PC player. I mean, I don't know, who gives a shit?
It would really hurt the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, though, because then you see, like, you have a review like, oh, the PC version of Watch Dogs looks a million times better than the console version. Everyone's be like, all right, so what's the point of getting a new next-gen console if it looks like so much worse than what's on PC? I mean, I don't know. I feel like you'd feel like left out, even if you didn't really have an awesome gaming PC. You'd be like, I'm not going to get excited about this. It's just already so much better on PC.
Yeah. We're at that weird crossroads where, I mean, even the console architecture has gone, to a PC-based architecture. It's no longer let's make our own. And it just seems like we are just slowly but surely going that way anyway. And I think the people who have these unbelievably awesome rigs, which nowadays is a lot of people because it's getting cheaper and cheaper to create like this super mega epic gaming rig, and they're just ready for it, right? They want to play in 5,000 by 3,000 resolution. They want to, they want their water cooling system to like actually heat up a little bit, but it's not, it's not really happening these days.
Yeah.
I just wonder if their future releases will go a different strategy now. Like for the new Tomb Raider, will the PC version just look, tremendously better than Xbox One or PlayStation 4 out of the box, or will they just go like, okay, let's be more careful about how we code this game in the first place. Let's, what can the Xbox One and PS4 achieve, and let's keep the PC version around there from the get-go. Like, I'm curious how they'll approach that now with this, or whether they'll just change nothing. I don't know.
There's one other thing I wonder about too. Is like this is clearly a big deal. I mean, we could see there's articles written about it, but like, does this kind of story get out into the mass public who is just going to what place is even open anymore? GameStop or Amazon or whatever, and just picking up the thing that's on the bestseller list. Do they even know there's a resolution controversy? Do they give a shit? Or is this something that those of us in this mix here are arguing about?
Of course.
I mean, maybe from Ubisoft's perspective, they don't care because they know most people don't care.
Oh, I believe they've got to feel that way a little bit. We're definitely in a percentage of people who, heard about it, probably know someone who this affected, right? So yeah, you're right.
I mean, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it okay. I just wonder if, like, from an exec perspective, they're like, let these motherfuckers whine. It's not going to affect our sales.
Yeah, because
probably right.
Because 39-year-old Kim McMom is not going to walk into GameStop and be like, so I heard some problems with Watch Dogs. I'm about to buy Rayman Raving Rabbits for my kids. I'm wondering, do you leave anything out on the PC that this Wii version doesn't have? I feel like the integrity of your company is important when I buy this game for my kid. You're right. That shit is never happening in a million years.
Right, because they're buying the fucking Spider-Man game. That thing's on the bestseller list. So
right. All right. Well, this still takes us into one final story. And I mean, there's a part of me that is like feeling a little bad for this guy, but then there's another part of me that's, not so much. And I'm sure you guys have heard Phil Fish. He's the creator of Fez, and he's gotten some shit in the past. He's gotten a lot of social media hate. He's stood up and defended indie developers. He's been raked through the coals for it. Like, he's really kind of had this interesting life as a game developer. And recently, just a few days ago, Chris Pereira posted an article that was essentially a statement by him where he says, Phil Fish, the Fez creator, says YouTubers should pay game devs, quote, huge portion of revenue. And this, of course, sparked a lot of discussion, not only amongst the people who consume this type of content, but also the people that create this content. So I said that originally I was feeling a little bad for this guy is because Phil Fish, he is able to just create controversy by speaking a few words. And I feel like some people really react almost in a super negative and not very, I mean, not a good way at all. And he has to deal with that a little bit. But I'm curious, you know, we've got Jeff, someone who's been in this industry for a long time, and you've seen sort of the shifts that have happened between developers and journalists and all this stuff and what's happening now. And Swifter, you have, you know, also a very, very large YouTube presence attached to what you do. You know, what do you guys think about sort of this thought, this notion, and especially as it relates to what's happening now in this world?
Well, I think he's like being very logical, and like everything he says, like it makes sense, but it's just not the reality of things. Like, yes, like I'm leveraging someone else's content to make money. Absolutely. And like, since I'm using their stuff, shouldn't they get like a share of that? Like logically, like yes, but there's this ecosystem now where you have like content producers who are using their content. They're also helping these games, and if, let's say, a developer wants a revenue share of that, I'm just going to play something else where, like, hey, you'll just take my free publicity, and in return, I'll get a revenue share from the content I create, leveraging your content. So while he makes sense and his arguments make sense, it's just the reality is it's just if a developer wants that revenue share, they're just going to get played less on these, like, viral, you know, mediums.
Right.
So I think he just needs to accept reality. I mean, I think it's great that he's creating, like, you know, getting his name out there by talking about this. I think it's brilliant. But I don't think the reality of it will change anytime soon. You look at, let's say, Nintendo, and if you want to upload a clip of like you playing Mario Kart 8 onto YouTube, like it gets owned by Nintendo, and they get like a share of revenue from that. And because of that, I'm just not going to upload Mario Kart 8 footage. I'll play it on Twitch, which is lots of fun, but I'm not going to ever upload it on YouTube. And I wonder if that really hurts or not.
Yeah, I think he's full of shit. I just do, and I think, you know, for the same reason that you just said about Nintendo. I mean, the bottom line is this shit is free advertising, period. Right. Like, they're getting their game in front of thousands, you know, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, depending on the YouTuber, millions of people, and they're getting a chance to look at it. And the difference is, you know, whenever they talk about how, like, it compares to, like, putting a movie up there. Well, you can't play a movie, you know, you can't, you know, you can't play the game either. People who are watching you stream a game can't play it. They're not getting the experience. That they're just watching something, and what they're watching is an ad. Period. I mean, I do not see it at all that these guys should get a dime from that. I really don't.
Well,
I mean,
if you stop and think for a second. Okay, let's take like a major publisher like Call of Duty, like Activision, right? And they were like, okay, now everyone's paying 0.25% of all their revenue if it was a Call of Duty video. And, you know, they end up getting a check for, you know, a few $1,000s. I mean, I'm sure actually it might be up there with something like Call of Duty. But the point is that the as it relates to the amount that they spend on marketing that game, that's like, I mean, that's their budget for toilet paper for all of Activision for a year. Right. Like, they don't give two shits, in my opinion, about what that would amount up to. Other people might say you're totally wrong, but I think that when you start looking at the numbers, it's not like someone like Phil Fish would see some amazing revenue stream from that. As a result, I think that where they see their revenue stream is exactly like what you said. The whole concept, someone mentioned Flappy Bird. Obviously, I think Flappy Bird was free, or was it? Yeah, but the guy made a lot of money off the ads. But PewDiePie does a video on it. This is a game that no one would look at twice in the App Store. Right. Boom, it's a sensation. Guy makes a shitload of money off of ads. That. There you go.
Yeah, instead of bitching and like asking for money, you should be fucking thanking them for putting your name and your game out there. You know, especially if you're an indie person. I mean, I get it. I get where they're coming from. I just don't agree at all. I think, you know, yeah, that a lot of these games would not get the eyeballs that they're getting. They would not have the name recognition that they would have if you didn't have guys like PewDiePie up there talking about them. And I don't know what they think they're not losing money, right? They're not losing anything. because the person who's streaming bought the game, right? That's the one sale that they were entitled to. Everybody watching, why do you think you should get money for people watching you play?
I mean,
Swifter, I know you can speak to this one. If I like think to this to myself sometimes, I'm like, I wish these developers would sometime go into a channel, anyone's channel who's like playing a new game or checking something out, and start keeping track of how many times people go, holy shit, this game looks sweet. I just bought it. I'm going to buy this. This looks, oh, if Swifter likes it, I'm going to check this shit out. Like, if we had a way to track that and could, like, give that back to people, like, holy moly.
Discussion would be over, right?
Discussion would be over, I feel like. But, I mean, you've seen this happen, Swifter, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it just happens all the time, all over Twitch. You go in, you explore, like you find out about a game you wouldn't have otherwise found out about, and it contributes a ton to your purchase decision. Like, how many of you guys in chat right now have, like, seen a game on Twitch, and you wouldn't have heard about it, or maybe you just had a negative thought about it, you see someone else play it, and then bam.
In fact, you guys, how many of those games have I bought and never played?
Right.
Shitload of them. Shitload of them. I mean, Papers, Please. That was one of those. I saw someone stream it. Steam bought it. 8 months later, I ended up finally playing it after like going through my thing. But you know, like I gave that guy my money because someone on Twitch was streaming it, and I thought it was cool. And even though I did eventually get to go play it, that just makes sense to me. How do you? But how do you measure that?
Yeah, a guy like Phil, they should just stop bitching and say thank you. I mean, you know, in other art forms, like you know, if I wrote a book and people were online reading from it, I would be thanking them for doing that. You know, like, oh my God, all these people are going to buy my book now because this guy with 2 million fans is reading it. You know, I wouldn't say like, hey man, I should be getting $1 for every, what? It just doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So one thing I wonder about though is, let's say on YouTube you have like like the Let's Plays where someone will play from, you know, a story-based game from start to finish. And I wonder how many of those people that do watch those, like, you know, do go out and buy the game because they're watching this, like, this looks cool to experience, or how many others are just content, like, oh, I've watched the game, I feel like this is what I would experience, and I've gained the value I have, and I don't need to buy the game. And I'm curious what the breakdown is between that. I'm sure a lot more people would want to experience it, but I'm curious if, like, there actually are, like, points where there's a measurable number of sales that are lost, but unlikely, right? I mean... Unlikely.
I mean, who knows, right? Because this is all speculation.
Right.
I mean, we don't really know, but my speculation would be that those people were probably never going to buy it in the first place.
Yes.
So you probably didn't lose the sale, because if they're watching you play a game for 60 hours, clearly, you know, if 30 hours into it, they're still not buying it, they were probably never going to buy it.
Very good point. Yeah, exactly. Very good point.
You know, I was looking through, I wish I knew what was it that inspired Phil Fish to put this on his Twitter. You know, was this a conversation he was having with someone? Was he there drinking his coffee in deep thought and suddenly just had this epiphany and felt like he needed to publish it on Twitter? You know, I wish I knew what it was that sort of brought him to that point.
Right. Like, I don't know. Do you think it was just like an intentional thing, like he knew it would just, like, you know, create like a media buzz around him and get him back into the spotlight? Or is it just something he felt passionate about to get out there? Like, I'm not sure either. Like, because his game's
Yeah, I can see where the resentment would come from guys like him. I can see it. You know, you're a coder. You've learned how to do this skill. It's a very specialized skill. It's hard fucking work. It's really hard to make a game. It takes a lot of time and effort and headaches and patience. You do all that. You make your game, and then you watch some other motherfucker who doesn't know how to code at all, but he has a good personality on screen, just play your game, and he's making bank, and you're not. So I can see where the frustration would be in terms of maybe even just jealousy to some extent. I'm not saying that jealousy, but among the reactions that someone could have, it could be frustration or jealousy or whatever, that somebody else is making money off of your effort, but what they're doing, the effort that they're putting in, that's their own skill, and that is not less valid than the skill of a programmer.
Sure.
The skill of a guy to live stream and get millions of fans, hundreds of thousands of fans, whatever, that is a particular skill, and that skill is benefiting you indirectly. So
what do you guys think about this? Right, obviously, here's a perspective that djWHEAT from chat is giving us, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily gel with what he tweeted, but it makes sense to me because of the types of games he makes. But he says, I have a feeling for Phil Fish, it's more about the experience of the game. I get the feeling he would prefer people enjoying his games themselves rather than watching it, which is reinforced by the article where he says something to the effect of, systems are in place to prevent that, but buy Fez, put all of it on YouTube, turn on ads, and make money from it, and that's totally fine. And I mean, don't you sort of see this disconnect? Because it's like, buy Fez and put all of it on YouTube. Like, I don't feel like that's an interaction that people are having. I'm sure there are, right? People are just watching something to see what happens, but it is more about the person behind it, what they're saying, how they're selling it to you. Is it, you know, how they're playing it. And you know, it's kind of like a great example would be Braid, right? Mm-hmm. I love this game. I would never in a million years tell someone, go watch Braid, right? Because it wouldn't translate the same way it translates when you play it. But a game like Outlast, for example, is totally different because I get people that come into my channel all the time and they're like, yo, this shit's too scary. I won't play it. So I'm glad that I have someone else to watch it. You know, like, you're always going to have these different styles of games, regardless of what type they are. So, you know, while Phil Fish might have had a point from that perspective, I just don't know that his comments necessarily helped out his argument.
Yeah, I mean, again, I understand the sentiment. I understand the feeling. But I feel like this is just, it's a dead issue. I mean, the ship has sailed. This is the, you know, all this keeps spouting off cliches. The genie is out of the bottle, you know, on this stuff, right? And I think for most people, this is nothing but good, right? This whole streaming technology, just to kiss your ass sweet here at Twitch, you know, this has really changed the whole gaming world, right? And it's mostly a good thing. Like, there's so much more access for everybody watching here now. You know, people who watched on E3, people now, like, you know, any gamer can watch E3 from their TV, right? Because of that. Like, in the past, that was a closed event. So I'm getting a little off topic, but the point being, like, more people having access to more information and being able to watch stuff, like, that's good. That's a good thing in life.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting topic, you guys. I don't think this is the last time we're going to hear this. You know, we've heard little things, little rumblings here and there. Nintendo had their thing. You know, this has come up recently, and I doubt this will be the last time that this gets discussed. But, you know, from a Twitch perspective, and this is not like an official Twitch word or anything, but like, you know, from what I hear a lot in talking with developers, they are just as excited to see their content on Twitch, usually, as the audience is, right? I mean, even though Phil Fish says this, I feel like this is not the popular opinion. The popular opinion is like, holy shit, a game that is so hard for us to get out in front of audience, there's a way for that to happen now, and we're so grateful that it's here.
Absolutely, that is so true. Yeah. I mean, you know, some of the meetings I sit on now in my job, where I meet with game companies, like, that is an explicit bullet point in most marketing plans now of big publishers, is we're going to put this on Twitch. We're going to have the developers play this thing on Twitch while it's still in alpha or beta. Like, they're excited about the opportunity to let people see their game and not have to see it through the filter of the press too.
Sure.
They don't have to get a snarky preview or tough questions. They just sort of control the message there. So I think most publishers and developers think of it as a cool thing.
Yep.
Right?
And I think them being on it, them interacting with streamers is like a great indication. You know, I mean, one of the greatest feelings in the world as a streamer is when you're playing maybe a smaller game or a new game, and suddenly you got a guy that worked on the game in your chat, and he's answering questions with people, and you know, and he's telling stuff to you, and that's friggin' amazing. You know, like, I'm sure to these guys too, it's like, wow, people care about my game, they're interested, they want to talk to me about it. You know, like, hell, it's just, everything is changing right now. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so Phil Fish, I'll see you at the flagpole after school. 3 o'clock. You and me, man.
That is awesome. Well, gentlemen, it seems like 2 hours has gone by oh so quickly, but we're nearing the end of the program, and it's about time we do our wrap up. So, Swifter, is great to have you on the show, man. Thanks so much, dude.
No, pleasure being here. I really appreciate you guys having me as a guest. Had an awesome time.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll do official shout outs here in just a second. But Jeff, as always, it's great to have you. And
thank you. I was a little ranty today. It's probably because I was up till 2 a.m. playing Hearthstone. All tired today.
Is that what's up next or after the show? Just back into Hearthstone?
No.
Gotta kill some priests? No?
No, yes, no.
I've got a short little break, and then I've got Twitch Weekly happening in about an hour, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. But let's do our official wrap up. Jeff, why don't you start with?
Let's see. You can find me at GreenSpeak, and that's twitch.tv/GreenSpeak. I will be doing more Dark Souls 2 at some point this weekend. So we'll see. Maybe later today if I can pull it off.
Right on.
All right, and, Swifter, you.
Yeah, and guys, you can find me, twitch.tv/Swiftor. I'm on practically every day during the summer, and I like to play games. So let's do it.
Awesome. Yeah, go watch this guy. Follow him. You'll get your notifications if he comes up. I follow both these guys, so every time I see it pop up, I'm usually popping in and seeing what you guys are up to. So go check them out and follow them. Thank you again, Swifter, so much for coming on the show. We'd love to have you on again sometime in the future if you can take some time out. But
talk some shot at the Avatar, hopefully.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. So next week or next weekend, you and me, buddy.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, we're doing it. It's happening, people. I cannot wait. So next weekend we'll play Shroud of the Avatar. We got permission to stream it, so it should all be good. I really look forward to that. We will relive the glory days, or we will just relive the days while we play something that's definitely not like the glory days. I guess we'll find out soon enough. So
can't go wrong either way.
Like I mentioned, I've got Twitch Weekly happening in about an hour. I'm really excited today, especially if you're a Twitch broadcaster. We've got some really cool new stuff that we're announcing today. So I hope that you'll tune in. We've also got a lot of cool events and whatnot happening. That'll be over on twitch.tv/Twitch in 1 hour. So gentlemen, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for joining us again. And 8-Bits fans, we will see you next week for another episode. Thanks for joining us. We're out of here. Peace.